All right, hello again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Good to Know Shreveport Bossier. That's our podcast. It's focusing on all the good, fun things happening around the community, the positive things everybody can get behind, things that make life worth living. My name is Jeff Blindfor. I'm your host for today. Over here to my right, this is Paul Reeser. He's our co-host, and as always, we're going to let him do the honors and introduce our special guest.
Well, as always, I'm super excited, Jeff. But today,
I would never guess.
Today, even more than most, because we know that the Shreveport Mudbugs are the most successful sports franchise in Shreveport history. Amazing.
I've heard that.
And
the
challenges of getting them here. Well, in terms of
I'm not
how many people show up,
from you.
how many people show up, how many national championships they've won, raving fans, but also just the story of how they got here, getting here, and then partnering with the city to turn George's Pond into a place you could play hockey. Today we have the general manager for the Mudbugs. If you want to know about sports, leadership, corporate partnerships, community involvement, or just fun,
I want to know about all of those
You're
things.
not going to want to miss today's podcast, because today we have one of my favorite people in the world, Scott Muscutt. Scott, come on.
How are you, buddy?
Terrific.
Thank you for having me.
Man, I'm so glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
What's the
Glad to be
connection?
here.
What's the connection? He's your favorite person in the world.
You talk about corporate sponsorship is what I talked about. So Mudbugs are great, but when I owned the Sonics, one of our favorite relationships was locally. We sponsored the Mudbugs, and it was just a great experience all the way around. And we can talk about that later. But first, I just want to know what's going on with Mudbugs hockey, Musky.
You know what? It's all good. I thrilled to say that 2 days ago, the league just sent out its attendance records and reports, and we set a North American Hockey League attendance record, and for the 6th straight season, we led all of the North American League in attendance.
Congratulations.
So, I truly appreciate the 318 and beyond for being there. You know, there's enough people that say, "Oh, there's nothing to do in Shreveport," you know.
That's the second time I've heard that today, but go on.
You know, but it's great that people say, "Oh, yeah, there's lots to do in Shreveport. You just get out and do it." And our fans have been phenomenal. So it's always nice to be able to kind of hold the mirror up and show Shreveport, like, hey gang, I know there's enough pessimists out there that say Shreveport's not a sports town, but it is, because you don't lead all these towns in attendance if you're not a sports town.
But what is it about hockey that has been made it successful here when so many other sports franchises have failed?
Well, I think that everything evolves. Its success evolves on identity, right? And identity isn't what you are, it's your ability to believe in yourself. And what has always been a phenomenal relationship is the Mudbugs' ability to believe in Shreveport and Shreveport's ability to believe in the Mudbugs.
Okay.
So the identity has always been strong because that relationship has always been strong. And then what comes from identity is a sense of self-confidence, which is what the team gets from the city, and again, what the city gets from the team. Hey, we love the Mudbugs. The Mudbugs are always in the playoffs. And the team, I can go out to, 1,500 kids who want to come to Shreveport to play hockey, and I can say, hey guys, you know what, like, nobody does it like us. If you want to come to Shreveport, get ready, because you're used to playing in front of 30 people. Now you're going to play in front of 3,500 people every night, and you're a rock star in this town. And it snowballs into something that truly becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It becomes a success. It breeds itself.
And I'm not a hockey fan, know nothing about it, but I love the games. What I am is I'm a Scott Muscutt fan, because when you came here, like I say, it was a challenge. Sure. You had to be very creative with the business, and also people love winners. So first year here, playoffs. Second year, national champions. So that kind of helped.
It does. Listen.
And your leadership is remarkable. I mean, you're not only a coach, you're a consultant for the biggest professional hockey teams, right? You're in Nashville. And
Well, I enjoy that. And again, I thank Shreveport and the Mudbugs for giving me the opportunity to find out, as a coach, when you are blessed enough to win a championship, the first thing you do is look back and say, okay, how did this happen?
Yep.
And
how do we do it again?
right, because you want to repeat it,
Yep.
so you have to ask that question, right? But what you find is the answer is always the same. This was a great group of guys.
Mm-hmm.
The culture was unbelievable. The attitude and the energy and the effort were unparalleled. You know what? I know that. So next year, I'm going to spend even more time on our culture and our character and our development, and that sounds good until the power play goes 0 for 4.
Right.
And then, so what I find now is, now that I'm a general manager, I get to spend more time doing that culture development, that leadership development, because coaches can worry about power play and coaches can worry about penalty kill and face-offs and all that kind of stuff. And this gives me a chance to pour into the young men who take that identity to another level. How can you grow us? So I love it. I really enjoy it, and it's been a lot of fun.
I mean, it's a lot of time. It's difficult to keep it going. It's difficult year by year, depending on the guys you have on the team, to keep that culture in place. How do you deal with that? How do you, with turnover in your roster, maintain the culture?
This sounds very small.
Yeah.
No jerks allowed.
Okay. Makes sense.
I don't care how many goals you score.
Yeah,
I don't care how
you
many
don't want
points you
bad
get.
guys in the locker room, right?
If you're not a high character guy, you can't be a part of what we do here.
Okay.
And again, because there's so many great relationships.
You're out.
So it was really nice having this podcast with you.
Yeah, like that. Prove my point.
Well, and you read that in all the management books, and you hear it in all the seminars that you have to keep your standards high. And if you have a person, even if he's a high performer, if he's not a team player, you got to get rid of him. But most people don't have the guts to do it. Most people don't have the character or the love for the entire team to get rid of that high performer. Everybody's short-sighted. Yeah. So how are you so long-sighted? What advice would you give somebody that has a business that's like, I know I need to get rid of that guy, but gosh, he's a great producer?
Yeah, I had the opportunity to work with some different car businesses, some of them dealerships, some of them manufacturers, etc. But, I ran across a gentleman who told me that, he didn't care if a salesman went in and relieved himself on the showroom floor. If he sold 30 cars a month, he wasn't going anywhere. And I just sat down with him and explained to him, like, you and the reason that I don't permit it is there's a difference between a goal and a standard. And you don't reach goals if you don't have standards. And a lot of folks think that the goal is what comes first, and it's just not. You don't reach goals if you don't have standards. So I sat down with him and I said, if you have one guy that sells 30 cars, but you have 10 other salesmen who absolutely hate coming into their work every day, right? You have to understand that you're only 3 cars away from those other 10 guys, from taking that guy completely out of the picture. Not only do you take him out of the picture and still have the same production, but now you have 10 other guys who are really happy to come every day. Now tell me how important your numbers are, right? Because multipliers are so hard to come by. Finding that person who comes in every day that doesn't just add 1, but hey, you know what? I'm going to make you better today, and I'm going to make you better today, and I'm going to make you better today. I'm going to make you better today. All of a sudden, that one guy makes 4 people better. So let's say that he makes them 10% better. Right. He just made that team 40% better just by having the right guy. Right? Now, if you take away the wrong guy, right? You remove that divider. So if you take away the wrong guy and give the right guy the opportunity, you're multiplying results and getting rid of the guy that divides your results. That's why, for me, don't allow bad people into your mix.
No jerks.
No jerks.
Yeah, that makes sense. Talk to me about the fans. You set in record attendance.
right.
Are the fans here, are they knowledgeable? Do they know what they're watching, or do they just want to see people get hit?
You know what? I'm glad to say this. Some are very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very, very knowledgeable. In fact, most are. Most are.
Okay,
But so when we sat down 7 or 8 years ago and said we were going to do this, our model, our business model, was based on, visually seeing people come to games. And what we said we wanted to do was we wanted to shake hands with people as they were leaving the building and thank them for coming. And we wanted people to shake our hands and say, we had such a great time. Did we win?
Right.
And that was the
Gotcha.
model.
Yeah.
The model was,
Yeah.
we want to have so much entertainment going on
That's good.
that with all due respect to our players, I don't want to put a multi-million-dollar business in the hand of an 18, 19, 20-year-old young man. I don't want to do it. I want to make sure that we have so much going on, and that every fan comes in and says, oh, this part is for me. Oh, I'm here because of me. I'm here for something that involves me, right?
Yeah.
And that's why it's critical that we were doing things that involved the outside folks to come in, so that if they don't understand hockey, it doesn't matter. They still
Right.
have a great time.
Talk to me about, I'm sorry,
That's
go
me.
ahead. Well,
I go,
that's clear.
it's so fun.
Yeah, yeah.
He's talking about not just hockey, you're talking about so many things I don't know what I'm doing. But
You're a good burger flipper, I'll give you that.
Hey, I got to where they wouldn't even let me do that. But you go to one of your events, and it is an event. The music is fun. You have a game every period. Every time there's any kind of a call, there's a stop and play. It's not just dead time. I mean, they're out there entertaining, involving folks, and that's why it was great for us to partner with you as a corporate sponsor, because we knew that we had such a positive affiliation, that your fans loved you so much. If we were affiliated with you, they would love us just by association.
Well, so I want to say this. You were also the perfect partner for us, because even though you can say...
Don't look so freaking surprised, Jeff. You look so
I'm
shocked.
sorry. Continue, please.
you can say to someone, hey, listen, and this is what we tried to do. We tried to tell all of our partners, guys, for 30 nights a year, you have 3,500 people who are at your disposal. So if something comes up and you say, hey, I got this big event coming, I want to do this on Friday night and this on Saturday night, the answer is yes. Let's make it happen. You want to bring your mascot out. You want to give away coupons. You want to have your name more on the video board. You want to have an intermission activity around your business. Great, let's do it. The answer is yes. Well, as many times as we said that, a lot of our partners never really took us up on it, whereas you did, and that's why I think the relationship was so good, because, you had a chance to be involved and make those fans your fans. Well, anytime that a fan comes to a game and they get something, like, it's one of the freakiest things in the world, right? Shoot a t-shirt at
Right.
a t-shirt.
Yeah, people go nuts.
And
Yeah.
900 people are going to beat each other up
That's
for
right.
a $4 t-shirt,
Right, yep.
But it's something for free. Like, one of our huge nights is Mardi Gras night. And we just, all of our partners come out with shopping carts, made up like floats, and they throw their business stuff out, and everybody loves it. And
Yeah.
it's because you're involving them. They're getting something from you, and you guys just did a great job of taking us up on that.
Well, I want to ask you, how did you find that partnership benefited your business?
Well, it was like I said, we did try to take advantage of it as much as we could, and we would pour a lot into it. You would shake for your shake, and we wouldn't just give away one shake. We would give away a whole shake. We'd give away 300 shakes.
Okay.
But 300, 70 of those people would come to the Sonic and get their shake, but 300 people thought Sonic's cool.
Yeah.
And it's all year long, so it's a very positive association. We did it year after year. I would tell you, I've never plugged my YouTube channel before, but I want people to see this behind the scenes. So if you'll go to YouTube and put Mudbugs Sonic, Mudbugs Hockey and Sonic. And see, I did a deal one night where I went behind the scenes and showed what it's like to be a corporate sponsor, what it's like behind the scenes. It was super fun and remarkable. It was one of my favorite videos. But if you want to see what it's like to be a corporate sponsor behind the scenes, go check it out. If there's anybody still listening to the podcast at 25 minutes in. But it was
Not
good
quite.
just to see how what a great organization it is. I mean, I could talk all day about them. But
Thank you.
I won't keep on because we want to talk about the community at large, I think.
Talk about the league, or the league itself, but the franchise and how that all works. People are confused, I think, about who's playing on this team.
Well, so I like to.
I don't want to say confused, but they don't have full knowledge.
Sure, I like to tell people this way. The Mudbugs that I played for, all of us were on our way out of the game. So we went to school, we went on, and we were basically playing.
Just a quick recap. You were on the very first roster, the very first Mudbugs team when they first came to Bossier years ago when it was a professional league.
Well, Shreveport first. So we first started in 1997 in Hirsch Memorial Coliseum, which is now George's Pond Hirsch Coliseum. So in 1997, I was the first player to sign a contract to play for the Mudbugs, and I signed a player assistant coach's contract in 1997. And then we played there until 99-2000, and then we went over to Bossier to what is now the Brookshire's grocery area. But all of us then, we had done our tour of duty, right? We knew we weren't going to the NHL. Like the best hockey for us, we'd already played it, but we still loved it and we wanted to keep playing. These guys, so we were playing for $300 a week. These guys are playing for $3 million a year. These guys are all going up to NHL, and we were on our way out of the NHL.
Yeah.
It's kind of a junior league. They're on their way to college. They're trying to get college scholarships at big colleges. They're trying to go into the NHL.
Yeah, so to tell you what this is like last week I got 3 different phone calls from 3 different NHL teams. One phone call was about a player we currently have, and the other 2 were about players that we used to have that are now in college. But they just called me out and said, Musky, you had this player play for you. Tell me what you like about him. Tell me what we should be worried about him. We're thinking about drafting him. We're thinking about bringing him to Florida. Well, I can tell you this. I can tell you that. So the nicest part about the difference in the leagues are, as a fan, you get to watch this guy play someplace else on your television set someday. Whereas for us, you got to watch us year after year after year after year because we didn't want to go anywhere. Shreveport was a great place to play, and you enjoyed it and you wanted to stay. These young guys, they're here, they love it while they're here, but they're here to go someplace else, someplace where they're going to make some serious money.
Yeah. Who has the best college hockey programs?
Oh man, it just changes every year. Like Quinnipiac just won a national championship.
That was amazing, by the way.
Yeah. So my son actually just committed to the University of Maine, and
great. The Bears, the Black Bears.
Black Bears. Yeah. So I actually played against them. I went to the University of New Brunswick up in Canada, but we went down and played some exhibition games against Maine. And I remember telling my son when he was just becoming a hockey player, like, man, we went to Maine. It was so much fun. Like they had newspapers out, and they pretended like we weren't even there. And they announced who we were, and they're like, "Who cares?" It was. And anyway, he really got excited about what the University of Maine was about.
Congrats to him, by the way.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
He's excited.
That's big. That's a big deal for a parent.
It is. Well, and it's. I've come to really appreciate that when your son is happy, you're happy. And he was elated by the opportunity, and that makes dad and mom pretty happy.
Oh, of course. That's fabulous. Good deal. How about Denver? Denver has a good program.
Yeah, really good program. If you talk to our assistant coach, Gavin Morgan, he'll tell you Denver's the best place. That's where he went to school.
Oh, did he?
So,
okay.
There's a lot of good ones. Minnesota's always good. Michigan's always good. Denver's always good. Maine's always good. There's a lot of Boston University, Boston College. There's a lot of really good programs.
And it's amazing that hockey is spread all across the country now. It's not just a northeastern sport or a cold weather sport. It's everywhere.
It really is. I would love for the SEC to get NCAA Division I hockey, but I understand why it doesn't, but I sure would love to see it.
Do any NCAA or SEC schools have club programs?
Now, most of them do have club programs
Okay.
of some kind or another, and those that don't have an ice hockey program have roller hockey programs. So.
Okay. All right.
Oh, so that reminds me the year-round aspect of the Mudbugs here in town. What you do for community. It's a long season, but also beyond the season, you have junior hockey, you have the roller hockey. What all do you do in the community throughout the whole year?
Well, we try to as much as we can. So we when I say we, that's really unfair. Tommy Scott started and still runs every summer a ball hockey league. He loves it. He has everything from, there's special needs Sunday where they come out and it's all special needs kids can come out and play ball hockey, and it goes right from that into like a AA competitive team that travels all over the United States playing against other ball hockey teams. So it's really become this thing of its own.
Yeah.
It really has. It's very, very cool. And then we have some roller hockey that takes place. And
What's
then
the
from
difference
that,
between ball hockey and roller hockey?
so ball hockey, you just run around in your shoes.
Oh, okay.
They call it deck hockey, and there is a little bit of difference between ball hockey and deck hockey, but not worth. You run around in your shoes and play hockey.
Gotcha.
And then, our youth hockey program has grown tremendously. The coaches and all of the parents who participate in it, I just can't say enough good things about
These are
them.
little kids. So my brother's grandson, is like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
He plays on this hockey team with you guys. He's obsessed every Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So last year they go to Dallas to play against the big boys, and they just got destroyed. They were losing 12-0. Everybody laughed them, said, "You guys go back to Louisiana." This year they went back and dominated. I don't think they lost a single game, and they won the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well,
Culture.
that is a great example of, and this is how I feel about every sport, but it's really true about hockey. You got to let them love it, man. Like your brother's grandson. Like I go to the rink. I'm at the rink on Friday
Go
nights.
Abel, you're on the podcast, buddy.
I'm at the rink Friday nights after our game till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, getting the building ready for the next day. The youth hockey starts at 8 o'clock the next day. So I try to get back to the rink by about 6 o'clock, and your brother and his grandson, they meet me at the door every time. Yeah. And they're ready to go. And that takes me back to when I was 2 years old, and you gotta love it. Like if you love being out there, then the rest takes care of itself. And that's what your brother's grandson has, is he just has a passion for improvement. And that's how they go from getting spanked one year to going in and laying down the law the next.
That's pretty amazing, though, that at that age you're actually traveling to play games. That never. I mean, I was a basketball guy. That didn't happen. Well, back in 1,000 years ago when I was playing. But, you played locally on Saturday mornings, but you didn't travel.
It takes a tremendous commitment. It really does. Like, and for all of those young guys that really love the game, like my youngest boy who now plays for us, for 7 years. Every Thursday, I had to check him out of school at noon. We drove to Dallas, jumped on a plane, went to some town to either practice 8 times or play 4 hockey games.
Wow.
Then get back on a plane, come back here, drive back to Shreveport, and then he was in school at 8 o'clock on Monday morning. And and it was a commitment. And that's what, if you want to continue to grow, that's what you have to do.
If I want to play hockey for the Mudbugs, how does that happen?
Well, you get started in a youth hockey program just like the one that's here, and then if you really evolve, then you have to go someplace and make make a AA or a AAA team, and then after you've done that for 4 or 5 years, then you get a chance to go to a junior program like we have here.
Okay.
And then if you get that opportunity, that hopefully takes you to a Division I or a Division III school, and then life happens from there.
The kids playing on this team are from all over the world. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
They've all got accents worse than ours.
Yeah, yeah. We have Canadians, we have Russians, we have Czechs. You're only allowed to have 4 of those, but it's they're a big part of our team.
For imports?
For imports, yeah.
For
So
imports.
any 4 non-American players.
Okay.
Now some of our players are American, went to Canada to play, and then came back to us, so they're not considered an import. But
Where are you from originally?
just outside of London, Ontario, Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you still got the Canadian
A little
accent,
bit.
even though you've been down here in the
Little
South
bit,
for so
yeah,
long,
yeah,
right?
a little bit. It really does depend. If I get talking to Canadian friends, which I've been doing a lot lately, it's recruiting season, so.
I don't even know. Should I ask about the playoffs? Because this is not exactly a timely thing.
Well,
the way
it doesn't
is.
matter when you ask them,
Let's
because every
just
year
ask.
they're going to be in the playoffs.
Well, no. I mean, in terms of the timeliness of when this podcast is going to drop. But let's ask you. I mean, you're going into the playoffs again. You're getting ready to start it.
Yeah.
So talk to us about how this season has gone and what you hope to accomplish here.
Well, it happens every year. You would think that I wouldn't let my blood pressure go up and I wouldn't worry about it, but we got off to a really slow start. I think at one point we were 2-12, and then we just started to figure it out. We started to become Mudbugs. We started to understand what our results come from, our behavior and our action. Our behavior and action comes from our culture, and our culture comes from our character, and our character comes from our choices. So we got to start making the right choices to grow our character, to get the culture, to get the behavior, to get the action, to get the results. And we finally got to the point where we were like, you know what? Winning is a choice that I make. Like what I do on the ice in practice, what I do and when guys really started to internalize that and get their identity, we got the confidence that came with it. And I think we went some ridiculous number, like I think it was 39-12 or something like that to finish off the year. So we got all the way up to third place, and we played Lone Star in the first round, and I like us. I like us a lot. I don't think we're a third place team, but one thing about it in this business, all you got to do is get to the dance.
Yeah.
If you get to the dance, then you just wait for the music and then you get at it. And then,
Which you have at every stoppage in play, right?
Thank you. Yeah. No, it's that's right. It's good.
Well, look, Alex Anderson, our sports director here at KTV, I mean, he's a gigantic Mudbugs fan, and he has stuff with you guys on all the time. So we hear about you constantly.
Great guy. Great guy. And Alex knows it. Like, he was one of those youth hockey kids that loved to be at the rink every day, and he's just a phenomenal
Alex worked for me, actually. And we went to
that's right. I forgot
and
about
we
that.
had your Mudbugs come meet us at a skating rink and teach our car hops how to skate.
Right.
Because that's the kind of thing you do with your corporate sponsors.
That's right, yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we had big events at skating rinks, and they would come in and teach us how to skate.
Oh, wow. So that's some cool corporate partnerships there, right?
It is, yeah.
They're creative. They're very creative.
Well, right back to you, man. It was really, honestly, it was a great relationship.
Well, we're down to our last couple of minutes here. So what kind of things do you want to, what parting messages would you like to leave to the community about your franchise, where you're going in the future, what kind of plans you have for the future, all those kind of things?
We're just going to continue to try to make George's Pond a better place to come and watch a hockey game, to have a birthday party, to bring your daughter or your son figure skating, to come public skating, to watch a hockey game. I love what you guys are doing, because I'm just a big believer in, if we keep saying what Shreveport doesn't have, we become blind to what it does. And the opposite also holds true. If you start to see Shreveport as a great place before you know it, that's exactly what it is. And I'm glad that we have a show like this, that we can sit down and talk about the good things about Shreveport, because there is a lot of good, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I love being here.
Well, we're going to have to go a minute over, because I got to brag about him even more.
Okay.
You've got your own consulting company, Learn, Lead, Win. So I would recommend to anybody that wants someone to come talk to your corporation, or even small. We had 35 Sonics. He would come talk to us, 38 Sonics, whatever. But if you have car dealerships, whatever business, reach out to Musky because he can inspire your people like nobody I've ever seen if he has time. If you want to come take your daughter to a ice skating event, you guys have free skating, so go out to a game and enjoy it. And if you want somebody that you can partner with to sponsor that's really going to bring the local people to love your business, I would say reach out to Mudbugs Hockey and Musky because it was a great experience for us.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Well, I think that's going to about wrap it up. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me. It was awesome.
Enjoy learning some of the behind-the-scenes stuff about the Mudbugs because I hear about them all the time, every day from AA. You know that. So he's like your biggest fan.
Yeah.
Second,
for real.
Second biggest fan.
I'm sorry, second biggest fan. Clearly, my mistake. All right. Thanks a lot, Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey, our special guest here today, and we learned a lot about this game. But who's the greatest hockey player of all time outside of Wayne Gretzky?
Wow. Probably Lemieux. Terrible that his career was so short, but he was really phenomenal, just an outstanding talent. But man,
From
every
Pittsburgh.
year it gets like for a long time you could say Sid, and now you
Sidney Crosby.
now you kill McCarr.
I know he's not the best of all time, but he's my favorite, and that's Brett Hull.
Oh yeah, great shooter.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid's also another. Like he's just owning the game right now. Crazy.
Didn't he get 150 points plus this year?
Yeah.
First guy to do that in like decades.
There's also an 05 coming up from Canada right now named Bedard, and keep that name in mind because he's going to be special.
All right, good enough. Scott Muscutt from the Shreveport Mudbugs. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Good to Know Shreveport Bossier. Have a good one, everybody.